Hello and welcome, vegan savages, to another episode of the Vegains podcast. And I'm still in the hostel, so I have to talk quite quietly and we might get disturbed and kicked out any second. So I don't know how long this podcast can roll. But I think this will be my last podcast here. And then when we're back in Berlin, we have our own space, can talk how much and how loud and however we want. And I'm just so eager recently to create more and more podcasts and just bring my podcast to the next level. Now that I'm also on Spotify and just on all platforms, and just seeing yesterday when I was at Logan's house in the Maverick house, his setup for Impulsive, I was like, damn son, I want to have something like that in the future where I can just sit there with my squad and just invite cool people and we just roll. And like this scenery, if you haven't seen the Impulsive setup, then go check it out on YouTube. When you also have such a nice visual, that's just so cool. So maybe when I'm back in Berlin, I make something like that in a small scale in my apartment, like a cool corner or background, and that the visual for YouTube is also cooler. And if you're watching for YouTube on YouTube right now, double biceps, and I'm drinking here my coffee in this cup which has a shit emoji on it. I don't know why. Anyway, it's not really a coffee because it's just like a comfort drink, because there's a tiny bit of coffee powder in there for flavor, but mostly just soy milk and hot water. So if I'm sipping every now and then, that's that. Excuse that. I'm not feeling that well. I'm just a bit not sick, but my immune system is struggling with something. So I didn't hit the gym today and my energy is not there, but my alertness is, so I can talk and record a good podcast. And today we're going to talk about how to use social media in a healthy way and just have a healthy relationship towards social media. Because recently I see many, like Casey Neistat did 2 videos, and Philip DeFranco, how they deleted all the social media apps, especially Twitter and Instagram, from their phone to get like a social media detox. And I want to share my thoughts about that, why you shouldn't do that, because I need your watch time, I need your likes. And no, not because of that, not only because of that, just follow me if you get something out of it. If not, don't waste your time, because time is our most precious asset we have. So now, I don't want to ramble forever, so let's keep it quick. Social media, how I describe it and what it is, fundamentally it is a tool. And I like to take the analogy of a knife. Like a knife is a tool and you can use it, get some hummus out of the hummus bread and spread it on a whole grain bread and make a delicious healthy bread for you, which is good. So the tool, the knife, really served a good purpose to make you a delicious bread which is good for you and healthy. Or you can take the same tool, the knife, and stab someone, and you just killed someone and you're in jail forever and have to live with all these regrets, and you just did something horrible. The same tool, and it's not the fault of the tool at all. It's your relationship with the tool. Same goes for money. It's just a tool. How you use it. Do you buy whole foods that really make you healthy? Or do you buy animal products that are destructive for your health and you support animal cruelty, and really a lot of resources are destroyed, which are destroying the environment? Or are you donating to a good charity and do something good? Or do you use corrupt shit, child labor, what have you? So it's not the fault of the money, it's a tool. So all things are tools. It's always our relationships toward it. Some tools, I don't see that you can do much good with that. For example, guns. I don't see basically anything that you can do good with guns. I can only see horrible things. Maybe to protect someone, but you protect someone by shooting someone, so that is just horrible by itself. But most tools besides like weapons and stuff and bombs, like there's nothing really good you can do with bomb. Oh, I mean, a bit, like when there's an asteroid hitting Earth and we hit it with a bomb and then it doesn't hit Earth that much or not at all, then that's a good thing. But most tools are neutral, like money, like a knife, like social media. So it's a tool. It's not good or bad, like, oh, social media is bad. It's da-da-da. No, it's a neutral tool in how you use it. You can really get sad of it and feel alone and compare yourself all the time. Or you use it in a positive way where you get educated, where you learn something, where you get inspired, motivated, new ideas, connect with friends, send DMs, get new connections, meet people, meet up with them, build a new environment, take social media into real life, meeting up with those people, collabing. So it's totally up to you. And how I do it, I just share my experience and then you can see if you also like to use it in that way. I'm not on all social platforms, only the one I'm attracted to. So for me, that is just the ones I'm also creating content, which is mostly Instagram and YouTube, because I also do podcasts, but there's not really a social platform where you interact with other podcast guests. So that is for me just then consuming, but that's not really so social for me, because that's for me only in a healthy relationship. Because when you're listening to a podcast, it's long format, you mostly get something out of it and you're doing something else while you listen to it. It's not like where you sit there and scroll. So that's why I only mention YouTube and Instagram, and I stopped using Facebook because I didn't get anything from it. Because Facebook went into the direction where I just got so many friend requests from people and I was just accepting them because I wanted that they see my content. But then my timeline was just filled with stuff I didn't care about people I didn't know. And then I didn't even like Facebook. So mostly for that reason, and just so many functions and tools and things I wasn't so passionate about, and I didn't create, and I still don't create content just for Facebook. So I just repost also my stuff on Instagram. There's a function, because Instagram belongs to Facebook. So when you post something on Instagram, you can also share it directly to Facebook, and that's what I do. But I don't use Facebook basically at all, besides sometimes Facebook Messenger to communicate with people. So for me, it's just Instagram and YouTube. I don't even have Twitter. It's not that big in Germany. Actually, in most European countries, it's mostly big in the United States. Yeah, maybe in the future I will go on Twitter, but right now I'm not passionate about it, not excited. So, and Snapchat also got killed for me because of Instagram stories. So for me, it's just Instagram and YouTube, and I recommend only use the platforms you are passionate about and you think you get something out of it. So don't just be on all platforms because you have FOMO, fear of missing out, and oh, this and that and da-da-da. So just, if there's a new social platform, try it out, and if you get value out of it, then continue to use it in a way that serves you, and if not, it's all about minimalism. The future is minimalist. You see that is the trend, fashion, cars, everything, and also for consuming content. So use the platforms that serve you and you don't feel overwhelmed. And then how I use, let's start with Instagram, because I have 4 accounts, but I only consume content on one account, that I'm not like, oh, on which account should I log in to consume which content. And I did that before, like on my food channel, I only followed food related pages, and on my merch channel, I only followed merch related channels. And then I was like, oh, I have so many channels to check. Then I was like, oh, it's about minimalism. So I follow at all my other pages besides my main page, Vegan Strengths. I follow at Vegains Food, Vegains Meme, and Vegan Savage, only my other accounts. So what I see there is just my content. And I see nothing there. So when I'm logged into these accounts, I have no reason to linger there and look at something, because I'm only logging in to post and to interact. And I don't even interact on my meme channel because I don't want to make the time. So at my meme channel and at my merch channel, I don't look really at comments or at direct messages. At my merch channel a bit, but at my meme channel, not at all. I haven't looked at a single comment or at a single direct message. So I use those 3 accounts basically just to post, and I use Vegan Strengths to post and to consume. I reduced it to 1 account, and I only follow people where I get something out of it. So I would recommend to you, try to keep the number, let's say, under 200 followers. I mean following, the people you are following. Because like I see people following 600, 700, even over 1,000 people. Like that just is overwhelming, so much content. You want to catch up with many people and just scrolling forever. So I just follow people I know, like my friends. I want to know what they're up to. And people I get something out of, which is a couple food-related pages where I get inspired for new recipes, a couple also infographic channels and just channels that are related to vegan strengths, to the infographics I create there. So I get inspired and just vegan news updates, so I see what's up in the scene and, I don't know, Burger King just came out with a vegan burger. I didn't know, so I might do a post about it as well. Or there's a new documentary, so I just get news update about the things I'm creating content about. And just people I think they're inspiring, or they're funny, they entertain me or something. But only if they really do, and then not overwhelmed with just follow and I follow him and now all his friends and him and this and and you're following so many people and you're just scrolling. So that's the next thing. The TH, with Germans, struggle a bit. I'm sorry, let me get a sip and then I'm right back after the commercial, which is just a sip out of the shit cup. There's literally a shit emoji on the cup. Why would someone buy that? AMSR style now. Okay, I'm wasting. No, just kidding. So now that we only follow the people we get something out of, and just I recommend you, if you're like, you go into your Instagram now, and you're like, ooh, I follow 700 people. What you do, honey? You go to the people you follow, and you scroll through, and you're like, who is this name? I don't even remember this person. Why do I even follow it? Unfollow. And if you miss something, go back and follow that person again. But I guarantee you, most of them you don't even remember. And if there are persons like you search the names and, oh, what are they about to, then go follow them. But if you don't even remember them, then there was nothing you got out of that. So really really only follow people you get something out of in any way, and that is not just to learn something, but also to just be purely entertained, like videos you find funny. Like I also follow, for example, the Dodo, which just posts really cute animal videos, and they just warm my heart in a way. So I just love to see them. But I don't follow 30 of these pages, just one. Just one is enough. So I see cute animal every other day and I'm like, oh, and don't want to waste my time scrolling and watching 30 videos and then it adds up and being like half an hour each day. So it's all about minimalism. And then I call it scroll. So we're still at Instagram. Scroll consciously. Because what I see many people doing, they have this FOMO again because they're following so many people and they want to get through or get to the bottom, but there is no real bottom. I mean, for me there is, because I sometimes get to the point that I've seen all the stuff the people I follow have been posted, because I just follow like 100 something. So there is then the green check mark where it's like you caught up to all your following. But if you follow so many, you just, oh, I don't want to miss out, and you scroll super fast, and you're not really ask yourself after you like scroll through 5 minutes, what did you just see? And if you can hardly remember anything, what was the value in that? So I really scroll slowly and take in the stuff I see, And when there's something that is, I'm not interested in that, I quickly want to scroll over that. Then I click on a profile and think, oh, do I continue want to follow this, him or her, because I'm not into this post, am I into the other posts? And then I decide, and if I'm not into most of the posts, then I just unfollow. So I scroll really slowly and take in the content because I'm interested in the people I follow, and thus I get really something out of it. Like my infographics, you cannot just quickly scroll through. Mostly you have to swipe, like up to 10 times, and then read the captions, and then you really learn something. So scroll slowly and mindfully, and if that is just, oh, that is boring, then follow the boring stuff you're not into. I mean, unfollow. Then, comparison. Comparison, there's a great quote, which is, do I even record? Yes, I do, honey. Good. Comparison is the thief of joy. And that is so true. When you start comparing yourself, there is no room for joy. You cannot be happy while you compare yourself. And that is so easy to say and hard to do because we all compare our way. But I recommend keeping it as small as possible and in a healthy way. Like, of course, you should be in check with your numbers and where you are in life and this and that. Like, that you have a healthy feeling for where you are. Like, for me, that I know what I could ask for money-wise when I do collaborations. That I know my numbers, my how many people I reach, this and that. And when I want to collab with someone, where is he? It's just like in a healthy way. But not where you like, everyone who has more followers or is prettier or more muscular than you is just on steroids, it's just doesn't deserve it. And everyone who, for example, has less muscle than you, oh, he's a weak bitch, oh, I'm so great, that you don't compare yourself in a judgmental, unhealthy way, which is just destructive and ego-driven and just depletes you from all joy. So if you follow people, you're constantly comparing yourself and it really drives you down, then unfollow them. So just unfollow them. And if you're not in a place yet where you have a healthy feeling for comparison, then just unfollow most of them. So, but if they're inspiring you, like, oh, I want to look like that, that's so inspiring, go follow them. But if you're like, oh, she looks so perfect and I'm so ugly, then unfollow them or work on you that you don't compare yourself like that. But trust me, so many people, they don't deserve the following they have because they're so fake. Like, their pictures are edited like crazy. They take hundreds of pictures and only take the one where they really look good, and the rest they don't look that good. And they try and they make their life seem so perfectly. And when they do stories, they only use filters and try to seem like a perfect being. That is so an illusion, and no one is like that. We all, no matter how much we have, how we look like, we all have the same problems and same struggle. And don't let yourself fool you that someone lives a perfect life. Especially the ones who pretend the most. They're mostly the most lonely and unhappiest. So unfollow those that don't serve you and you really compare yourself. And I don't follow any fake people where they pretend to be someone. I like real people. So mostly my stories, and that's what I am. So I mostly stopped in stories using any filters. I just show myself the way I am. If I have pimples, I embrace them and show you, so that it's just me. And that's why my Instagram is not so much about myself. It goes beyond myself. Not just I'm showing you how I thrive on a plant-based lifestyle by looking great, but no, I educate you with infographics. So what I eat, recipe videos. And then every now and then I do a transformation picture of how I looked, how my skin was, how much acne I had back then and how much better I look now, or how muscular I am now and how skinny I was. So just to inspire you, to show you, but I don't make my channel only about that, because I feel like then it starts like people comparing themselves and they're like, oh. So I focus less on Instagram about me and much more about helping people, educating people. So that's about that. And in my stories, like, I just be the person I am. And stories is another thing. They're just so great and can be so real. And some people, I don't even like their posts that much, but I just follow them because they do great stories and I want to see them. So, yeah. So, don't get stressed out of social media. And how you do that? By having a healthy relationship. All about minimalism. Follow the people you get something out of. Consume the content that really serves you, where you get something out of. Learning something, being entertained, making you smile, making you just seeing up what your friends are about and feeling and just belonging to a community and DMs. That's so great. So when I'm on Instagram, what I do, I post. And only at Vegains Strengths and Vegains Food, I read my DMs. And only at Vegains Strengths, I consume content. And DMs, they're just great. So because you get feedback, and I learned so much from that. Like I do things, and people like, hey, this and that, and I learned so much from that. And then just interacting with people, getting their knowledge, like when I travel, good spots, things to do, and then they just reach out to me, hey, you want to meet up? Hey, this would be a great guest for your podcast. Hey, could you, in your next podcast, talk about this? Could you make a video about this? Hey, you know what would be a cool vlog idea? Would be that. And then just the testimonials of people. Hey, I consumed your contents. I was a silent follower for years and I turned vegan because of you. And now I'm vegan for over a year and I get rid of my acne and I feel great. And I convinced my mother and she's off her diabetes medicine and she's now cured. I'm like, wow, that gives me so much motivation, makes me so happy. So I love interacting with you and just taking social media into the real life where I actually meet up with you, where I meet people and which just then become friends. For example, Nico Rittenau, one of my best friends, he reached out on me years ago on Instagram. Hey, you want to train together? And I was like, I'm down, and we train together and we're best friends ever since. And that's how Nico met Benny, which is now our friend and works for Nico because he reached out on him on social media. So that's how I met so many great friends. That's how Philip met his girlfriend via Instagram. So you can use it in such a positive way that serves you, and then not even keeping it social online, but real social into real life where you actually meet up with people around you. And Instagram, you get such in a bubble of like-minded people, which I think is great, because Tinder, that just makes me crazy because there's so not like-minded people and fake. I see so many fake chicks and I'm like, oh no, I'm so not attracted. And then I go off Tinder and be like, and on Instagram, because so many like-minded people follow me and interact with me, and it's just the vibes are so positive, and then create opportunities. And hey, my friend, he has a podcast, he would love to have you on it. And that's how I roll. That's how I use Instagram, and that's how it serves me. It's a neutral tool. And I don't need to delete it because I can use it in a healthy relationship. And for example, Casey Neistat, what he did, he just used it all the time in a not healthy relationship where he just was scrolling like crazy, popped out his phone everywhere and was just only consuming and not interacting and creating. And he just used it tool in a way that didn't serve him, and he did it a radical step, deleting it, which is fine, but then he painted the picture in his video that it's a bit something negative, which I didn't like, because it isn't at all. It's something completely neutral. It is a neutral tool you can use in whatever way. So that's why don't delete it. Get a healthy, find a healthy relationship with social media that serves you. And now, let's talk about YouTube. Oh, I'm such a dummy. My podcast was, the SD card in my podcast microphone was full because audio files are so small. Like, there's only a 16 gigabyte card in there, and it can record for 16 hours. And I just didn't format it for a long time because I was like, 16 hours, that is a long time. But guess what? I'm producing a lot of podcasts, so the 16 hours were full. Anyway, I just talked about YouTube for like 10 more minutes, and then I even closed it down. But it's just the same as for Instagram. Follow the people, and in this case subscribe to the people that serve you, consume the content you get something out of, and that's about that. So we cut it even shorter, right to the chase, chase the case, I don't know. And the same goes for Twitter and all other social media platforms. In the way they serve you, they're a fundamental neutral tool, and use them however they serve you. And I think that's it. Yeah, and you're good. So I really don't know what else I talked about, or is it in there, is it not in there, but I made, I think, the point in the first 24 minutes or something. And here I'm sitting outside, it's super loud, so I close this vlog, this vlog. I'm sorry. Soon I will be back in Berlin, and then my podcasts are on point, no distractions, and just everything is on point. But this is just real shit, y'all, and I would love to hear your relationship with social media under the YouTube comments, or send me a DM and let me know. And I hope you use it in a way that serves you, and if you haven't done it, then do it now, honey. I don't know if I talked about this rant where I told you Casey Neistat and all of them, they're deleting these apps, but it is just a short fix, because someday you will get the social apps again, and then you use it for a bit in an unhealthy way, and then you delete them again, and you're in an unhealthy cycle where you just use them in an unhealthy way and then delete them. No, honey, it's all about healthy lifestyle choices which we can sustain in the long run. That's why don't jump on different diets and then go off different diets. It's about what is the healthiest diet. It's a whole food plant-based diet, and that's what we should sustain our entire life, because it's the healthiest and it serves us. Same goes for social media. Don't delete it for a bit and then have an unhealthy relationship for a bit until you delete it again. No, find a relationship that serves you, you can use in the long run, and that's what it's all about. So find that. And did I talk about how to take social media into the real world? I think so, I'm quite sure. Yeah, so anyway, I'm sorry, I'm like, is this in there, is this not in there? But I think like in the first 24 minutes I talked about most of the things, and it's super noisy here, so I close it now. Thanks for listening, honey. Until next time, peace. Eat your chickpeas. Out.